I think we all feel that this COVID crisis, horrible and tragic as it is, it certainly has shown us humanity and the human condition, because it's almost as if everything gets stripped away and it's a matter of being a human being and surviving, and suddenly our obsession with our cell phones and going to Starbucks has become completely meaningless, and going to parties and dinners, and it's reminded us of what it is to be human and what it is to protect others as well. This whole mask wearing thing about wearing a mask so that others are protected, it's created a kind of sense of compassion. I just hope it continues and we don't just go back to normal, meaning this compassion continues. I hope that continues. But something else I wanted to pick up on is this notion that, you know, we are all human beings, and when you practice a lot of mindfulness, you start to become much more compassionate about the human mind, in that you start to see how in this, we look at our own minds and see how we have all these moods and reactions and things that we regret and things we don't mean. And it shows us that we have this kind of area of ourselves that is not really, we're not in control. We react certain ways, we think things we don't want to think, we say things we don't want to say. It shows us how unstable a human mind is. And when you do this kind of internal introspection and see this more and more, it makes you more humble about the human condition. And then when you encounter other people who you find despicable or terrible, or you judge them, you start to look at them differently. You think, well, they're just messed up like me. And then they're not out to get me. They're not evil. They're just stressed and confused. And who knows what happened to them yesterday that has turned them into the monster they are today? We don't know. We don't know about their past. We don't know what they're struggling with. So when you start to understand things more from that perspective, the kind of forgiveness grows and the ability to see the other person's side of the story. And then, and only then, can you communicate and start to help to make changes in the world. Our approach to happiness has become very materialistic, very much about grabbing onto the next thing. And the argument I make is that actually the search for happiness is precisely why we don't achieve happiness. Because when you're searching for something, you're already creating a habit of searching. Because our mind it's habits. Whatever you do or think again and again becomes a habit, just like muscle growing. So if you're searching for happiness from the things around you, you're going to always be searching. So whatever you get is never enough. You're going to just jump over it looking for the next thing. The searching breeds more searching. Now, of course, this is precisely what advertisers love about us, because they love to manipulate our sense of needing more. And this sense of constantly needing more is what has created the whole world of commerce. It's what keeps the wheels turning. Make people feel more greedy, then they'll buy more. Make them feel ungrateful. Make them feel dissatisfied. Make them feel they don't have enough. They will always want more. You can always sell them something. This is the toxicity of modern life that has created the problem in the first place. And so, yes, with climate change, with sustainability, with all these major issues, we need people to behave differently, but just telling them, don't do this and don't do that is not enough, because people will react and rebel. We need to help people to understand that happiness comes from within. If you understand happiness comes from the mind, if you understand that happiness is a skill you can train mentally from inside yourself, you're going to be less materialistic. It doesn't mean you're going to give up everything and go and live in a cave. It just means you get things into balance. You become less needy. And when people start to reclaim their own happiness and see that it comes from within, they will stop destroying the environment so much, because they'll stop constantly needing more. The need for more is growing and growing and growing, and it's making the planet explode. We all know where this is heading. So I think a conversation that needs to happen in the heart of this conversation around sustainability is this question of, where do we think happiness comes from? Is it not a trainable skill of the mind? If you think you need 50 cars or 5 houses to make you happy, there's something wrong, isn't there? And if you think about what happens when you're happy, when you get the new car or you get the new house or the new cell phone, isn't that a state of mind? It is. You are happy in your mind. Yes, you got a new cell phone, but who's happy? You are happy. So I would say cut out the middleman and just go for the happiness. Train yourself in happiness. You don't need all the stuff. You can just do it yourself. So this is not going to make us just stop functioning, but it just gets things into balance. And I think the more we can get that message out there, that it's not about don't do this, don't do that. It's about look within and find that everything you wanted was already there. Only then can we start to heal the planet.